Welcome to the party, pal. Your Neighborhood Master Chaos here. Today, we're gonna get sloppy, and not in that way. We're gonna get bloody. We're talking SOV, and quite possibly one of the greatest SOVs of all time. SOV is shot on video for those of you who don't know, but most likely you're following along at home. Joining me today is the guy I discovered this franchise with. You know him, you love him. He's no longer haunted by a giant, Brother Chaos.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing?
We're doing good, man. Are you excited to finally discuss video violence?
Yes, and I want to say I'm really loved revisiting both of these films.
I'm glad to hear it. Well, you're going to get our in depth thoughts on video violence 1 and 2. This is new from TerraVisions. You're going to get the entire Snuff Collection review here today on Master Chaos TV.
Hail to the king, baby.
Hello, motherfucker.
Hello, indeed. Let's kick it off. First, we should probably introduce how we discovered these movies. BC, why don't you take that over?
I don't remember. I know I was into them a lot. I was into mainly Cannibal Campout and Splatter Farm. You know, one by the Polonia brothers, respectively, and the other one by John McBride. And I remember bringing them over to Master Chaos's house to watch. And oh man, it was such a good time watching those movies. And then the Camp Motion Pictures or Camp Motion Video, the company came out with video violence. And as soon as I was aware of that title, I picked it up and we watched it. And I guess it left a lasting impression on Master Chaos because he picked up this set, which was a little bit pricey, but I think in the end it's worth it to have a nice clean copy on Blu-ray.
Clean. We'll talk about quality later. It's Blu-ray, but don't expect this to look like a 4K movie at all. It's still a video movie. My memory is different from video violence. I remember we were at the video store one day, and either you came across it or I came across it, but it's the infamous video cover of the bloody hand, putting the tape in the old VCR, and you're like, we gotta get this. Oh my god, we gotta see this. This looks amazing. And we rented it, and I remember we watched it together, or maybe you had seen it before me, and you brought it over, like, oh my god, I found this thing, we have to see it. Anyway, it became a thing. It became part of our SOV movies that were like, oh shit, this is. I mean, it's obviously crap, but it's entertaining crap. And then that led us down the road. And I remember you calling me excitedly one day, months later, and you're like, oh my god, they made a video violence too. And you were so excited about it. And you had that, if I remember correctly, you found it at a video store that was far away, and you made your dad drive to it so you could rent it.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah, and so we ended up watching part 2, and we'll get to part 2 and our feelings on that when we get there. But anyway, we have a history with video violence. It's at least a shot on video movie that means a lot to us. And here it is, rediscovered. For those of you who don't know, you can now revisit it on Blu-ray in this lovely package. Why don't you tell us the plot of part 1 as I show this off?
Well, I don't know how much I could say without spoiling it. Pretty much a guy from New York that he runs a movie theater or works in that line of work, and his wife, they moved to this small town to open up a video store, and the townspeople are very they're not polite, they don't talk. And he's getting like the cold shoulder. And in the video store, he's surprised that almost the entire population own a VCR. And the thing is that they only rent like splatter movies, like heavy violence type of movies, specifically, horror bloodbaths. And so he's in this town, and he has his co-worker that works for him. One day, they discover a tape dropped off in a Dropbox that doesn't belong to them. It's not one of the store tapes. So I figured, oh, it's somebody's home tape, and then they decided to watch it. Mostly the co-worker is curious, and he's like, oh yeah, what the heck, let's just watch it, what the hell. And then that's when the story really begins. So that's the beginning of video violence, and I really like how it feels like a detective story, because you have the new video store owner, and he's trying to figure out if what he saw on the tape was real or fake, but he has a feeling that it's real. But the town is not very appreciative, especially the police detective, the chief of police.
Yeah, it is. That's a good way to put it. It is a detective story, which I think is really what the movie benefits from. Unlike a lot of SOV movies, this one has an actual script, not terrible performances, and some really fun gore moments. I think if it were shot on film, this is a movie that more people would give a shit about, or at least know more about.
Yeah.
This could have been right up there with something like Pieces, because it's got it's got a compelling story, compelling characters. I think just the fact that it's shot on video, people go, no, I'm not interested. The movie's an hour and 38 minutes. I think it is a little long. Doesn't I think the second one has a better runtime. But I mean, an hour and 40 minutes, that's a lot. But there's not really dull moments, I think, because, again, there's a real central story there and a real narrative drive. We should talk about these guys. We do introduce the two main killers, Eli and Howie. These guys, not only are they our main killers, but they're our main filmmakers, too. They're the guys that are sort of behind most of these movies. And now these guys are idiots. They're a bunch of morons. They're nonstop laughing, but they produce, the snuff movies, and they're so entertaining to watch. BC, would you like to go movie shopping with Eli and Howie?
Okay. Yes, I would definitely like to go shopping with them. I would like to be on location for one of the snuff films that they produce. I would like to be with a beer, watching them, do their stuff. This is all fictitious, of course.
Okay,
yeah. I'm just having fun with the film, but yeah, I would definitely, I would love it so much. I would like to be a member of that town and happily wear a shirt that says "I'm a lifer." By the way, let me explain that. In the town, obviously, because they're doing something that they're not supposed to, creating snuff films for the town residents. So if either you want to move out of the town or you're a transient just passing by, you're going to get killed. So the people in the video store, the customers, they probably wear a yellow shirt that says "I'm a lifer," meaning I'm a member of this town. I get to rent here my snuff films. I get to keep it a secret. The people of the outside the town don't need to know what's going on here. So that's I know I went a little bit longer into it, but that's to answer your question. It would be a fun town. I'm talking fictitiously, of course.
Sure.
This is horrible. I would not be a part of this.
This one does not waste your time. As a matter of fact, I think it's a rewarding experience. I think it's, even if you don't like SOV, you'll get something out of this. I love the VHS aesthetic. The era in general is great. Honestly, I could watch a whole movie about people renting stuff in an old video store. I don't know about you, but I love the cozy nostalgia of the movie. It's like a comforting to watch it.
Yes, it is. I like how it's so simple. It has the detective story, but everything makes sense. Everything falls into place. The actors are not acting over the top. I mean, they're a little bit silly and ridiculous, but it kind of like makes sense. And the acting is not bad. It's not Oscar quality, but it's definitely more than watchable, I'd say. It doesn't take you out of the movie. It doesn't take you out of the magic of the movie. You're in it for the whole runtime. And yes, it is a little bit too long. The second one is much more palatable at its I think an hour and 12 running minutes, something like that.
15, yeah.
No, 15. But this one is a hoot, and the second one is a hoot as well. They're very fun SOV movies. If you're new to SOV, this is not a bad place to start.
Briefly, I'll talk about the technical aspects of the film. When you're talking about the Blu-ray upgrade, you're still going to get tracking issues because whatever master they were working off of had tracking issues.
Yeah.
The audio is muffled, and unfortunately, there was nothing they could do to improve that stuff, which sucks. The image looks about as clear as it's gonna look. It's not saying much because the movie already looks kind of muddy and blurry at times. But I mean, again, that's part of the charm. Ultimately, for me, there's real filmmaking here, which is a shock. You know, this isn't static shots of people talking for 20 minutes or people walking through the woods for 20 minutes. You know, everything is well paced and there's editing and it all works like they're actually making a movie. So,
Yeah.
you know, surprise, surprise, this is, in my opinion, probably the best made SOV I've ever seen.
You know what? I'm not gonna say you're wrong. I think Cannibal Campout is more fun.
Yes, more
But
fun, but I feel Video Violence is better made.
I agree. I would agree with you. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, in terms of fun, Cannibal Campout is still number one, but Video Violence feels like I said, if it was shot on film, I mean, it would work
Oh
even
yeah.
better, you know?
Most definitely. Most definitely. Yeah. One thing which is surprising, that happens with most SOV movies, you don't get pissed off at any of the characters. And usually, when I'm watching an SOV film, there's one or two, or maybe the whole cast that pisses you off, and you really don't feel like watching the movie. That has happened so many times with so many amateur shot on video movies.
Yeah.
If you could find the name of the director, but he really knew what was happening, how to make a movie. He was a smart guy that had a unique idea. I think it's unique. I haven't heard of this being made into other movies about this, but a smart idea, unique, not groundbreaking, but good enough to make a really fun standalone classic. Yeah.
But unfortunately, it doesn't stand alone because it gets a sequel, which
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
we'll talk about in a minute. I believe the director's name is Gary
Cohen, right?
Gary
Cohen.
Yeah, Gary P. Cohen. Let's briefly mention the special features here before we give our ratings. Each movie, as I showed, it comes in a different disc, so you don't have to worry about compression issues. Yay! They each have their own special features, but this is what's on the back. Archival interviews with Gary P. Cohen. New interview with actress Paige Price. I'm not sure which movie she's in. New interviews with special effects artists Mark Dolson and Mark Kwiatek. A new interview with actor Robert D'Amico on Video Violence 2. The SOVs That Wouldn't Die, a documentary made by Gary P. Cohen, which
Oh wow.
I would skip it. It's basically he talks about how popular the movie's gone. He's like, oh wow, it got 4,000 views on YouTube. I'm like, man, that's really not that much. But you know, he's excited about the resurgence of the movie. But most of it is made up of actually this YouTube reviewers of Video Violence. So it's not necessarily a documentary. If you have nothing to do, watch it. It's like 30 minutes. Then you get new commentary, archival and new commentary from the director on both part 1 and part 2, as well as vintage 1994 radio promo with Herschel Gordon Lewis and Tim Ritter. Very interesting.
Nice, yeah.
Okay, let's give it some stars, BC. What are you gonna give it?
I'm gonna give it 4.
Okay. And not 5. You're not feeling like it doesn't go great for you?
Yeah, it doesn't go great for me. I mean, it is a great film, but I think I had more fun with it when I was watching it as a younger person. I had, to be honest with you, I had more fun with the second one.
Okay.
Yeah. But I feel that's where they really let loose. I mean, they went and they just had balls out. You know, they went all the way. You know,
they went all the balls out. Yeah.
This one was good. It was clever, and I think 4 stars is enough because I didn't. If you would ask me, 15 years ago, I would have said 5 stars. But watching it again, it is a little bit too long. I reserve 5 stars for a perfect film. and this one I was near perfect, but not perfect.
Well, I'm with you. 4 stars for me as well. Appreciated it more this time than when we watched it when we were
Really?
younger. Because
Oh,
I remember, not loving it, being it's okay. I mean, it's a good movie, but not like crazy amazing or anything. But I think rewatching it and the fact we have the nostalgia baked in from when we watched it, it worked a lot better for me, and I was very impressed by the fact that I hadn't remembered how actually competent it was made.
oh yeah.
So yeah, 4 stars for me, not 5 because I feel it doesn't really ever get great, but it's good. It's good, and it's as far as SOV goes, it's leagues better than anything Wave Productions ever made or anything Saturn's Core's ever put out. So video violence across the board from both of us, 4 stars. Okay, moving on. Video violence 2, the mayhem continues. BC, why don't you tell us the plot?
All right. Well, the main killers from the first film are back, and now they have their own pirated cable show.
They're public access kind of thing, yeah.
Public access, and it's incredible because they have a show where they show previews of the snuff films that the community has made, because the community is also making snuff films, and they're all sending them into the Howard and Eli show. And I thought this was fantastic. I felt this way the first time I saw the movie, that I feel in the show they're trying to emulate a little bit of David Letterman and Paul Schaefer or Schrader?
Yeah. Paul Schaefer, yeah.
Paul Schaefer, yeah. And they have I get which the main guy is Howard, right? Or Eli?
Oh shit. No, Eli. Eli's the main guy.
Well, okay, well Eli would be David Letterman, and the guy running the piano would be the Paul Schaefer character.
Yeah, that was great.
I loved that guy. And the way all his facial expressions, and I can't believe it would be an easy task, because a lot of the time he doesn't talk. He just his reaction shots to him watching the movies and everything reminded me of Paul Schaefer so much, and just brought a smile to my face so many times. And this movie is like the fruits of the first one. Here, you kind of like the veil is pulled back, and you get to have fun with Howard and Eli, and you get to see the films that are being made by the community, and it's such a fun watch. In the Howard and Eli show, it's like a talk show, and they have a guest on, and then
they kill the person.
They kill the person, and then they have previews of the snuff videos that the town has made, and you're gonna have so much fun with this one. Trust me. If you like the first one, you're gonna love the second one.
I would disagree, but I'm watching it. I'm watching it from a different perspective. Maybe the stuff I loved and that I thought made the first one such a unique movie is the stuff that is missing from part 2. Video Violence 2 runs 1 hour and 15 minutes. Gone here is the video store aesthetic. It's replaced with a more kind of cynical Paul Verhoeven style approach, but not in the good way, I guess. This one kind of takes satire to a whole new level because they've got their show, and you assume that the police are trying to stop these guys. I mean, I don't know how they can get away with showing real deaths on TV just randomly. That doesn't like that could have been the story. Like there's police trying to find the pirate signal, like and trying to shut them down, something along those lines. The problem for me is that there's no story here. This feels like an anthology. It feels like a clip reel. It almost feels like deleted scenes from part 1. You know what I mean? It doesn't have enough of its own movie to be a movie.
I would say the part 2 is just the Howard and Eli show. There's no outside characters trying to like you said, Master Chaos, trying to stop the broadcast. It's just us watching the show. So I appreciate it. I felt like a towns member, just like sitting at home, turning on the TV, catching the Howard and Eli show and watching it. And that's it's not really a movie. It's just it could have been. I understand what you're saying, that it has no story. It could have been a special feature because it's a feature length episode of the Howard and Eli show, and I just watched it knowing what it was because I've seen the film before, and I just enjoyed it for what it was. It's not a movie. It's just an episode of the Howard and Eli show, and I thought that it was brilliant that they got to do that. You know?
I knew what it was going into, but enjoying it for what it was, from what it is like saying, "Oh, look, child murders. I'll just enjoy it for what it is." You know what I mean? Like that's sort of a weak phrasing, when you're trying to review a movie, because it's like, enjoy it for what it is. But if you don't like what it is, you can't enjoy what it is.
All right.
The problem here is that it just feels so random. It feels like there's no cohesive structure, and if this reminded me a lot of the WNUF Halloween special. I don't remember. Did you like that?
Yes, I did. I loved it.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't like that. I didn't like the commercials. I thought the ghost stuff was good, but we never cut back to that enough. I always got pissed off when we cut the commercial. I'm like, Jesus Christ, how many fucking commercials are in this thing? So I see that one did not work for me, and I feel Video Violence 2 is essentially a WNUF, precursor.
That's a pretty good comparison. Yeah, I would say yeah.
For better or worse, if you like WNUF, you're probably gonna enjoy Video Violence 2. Yes, there's gore. Yes, there's awesome nudity. I mean, these guys.
Yeah.
This guy knows how to cast boobs. There's some great boobs.
Oh yeah, I was about to say that they're nice and plump and they're natural, which I like. They're not fake. So yeah, he knows how to cast boobs.
I mean, every girl who gets naked in here is fine and dandy in my book.
Yes, yes, healthy.
It feels like it goes Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, where the first one's pretty dark, and the second one is a little more comedic, a little more meta.
Yes, it is.
It's not a bad film at all. I mean, it is fun to watch, but I feel somebody having been impressed by how competent the first one was, the second one feels like it's made by different people, and it just feels like they shot it over a weekend. Like the one thing I didn't like about that I liked about the first one was that the kills weren't drawn out and boring and stupid. Here we have that long sequence with the three girls and the pizza guy that just
I like that one.
Get to it, but there's no real blood in that one, if I remember correctly. They're just like
there isn't.
They just dance with the guy. I'm like, Jesus, just fucking get to it. What's happening? They're not even naked. It felt like a waste of my time.
I liked everything about the second one except that twist ending, which then they.
Oh yeah, we won't go into details on that.
Yeah, I won't go into detail, but then they show what it is. But that was, even though they show what it was, I thought that it could have been handled better. The last 10 minutes of the film, I didn't appreciate that last part.
No, it was dumb, and I think it was maybe thrown in because they realized they didn't have a movie and they needed to add something. But then they got scared at the end and then changed it. I don't know. I haven't listened to the special features on it or the commentary track. I'm curious if it's the thing where Gary just said, "Oh, the first one was successful, so we threw this one together, last minute." But it feels empty to me. I don't like watching a clip reel movie. I don't like watching an anthology movie because there's nothing to really grab onto. There's no characters to root for. There's no real. And nothing. It felt like a special feature you would see on a DVD, like extended TV show footage of the stuff we cut to every once in a while.
Well, I don't know if you disagree with me, but I'm gonna say this one, even though it is very different from the first one, I would still say that it was competent. Okay. That the whole Paul Schaefer guy, I loved that actor. That acting, that character, that's the word, sorry. Sure. That character was so funny. Just his facial expressions, him at the piano, going like this, going like that. Oh man, like he's funny. He really carried it for me. That's my own opinion. You could hate the dude or whatever, but I thought that he, even though he's not a main character, I felt just by his awesome acting, he was up to the level of Howard and Eli, even though he was like their sidekick on that cable access show.
I agree with you. All the acting from those three guys is great. I love the piano guy very much. I like at the end when he grabs the mic and he says Rosebud. I thought You know, it was great. I like that guy was having fun. I mean, those guys were all of them were having a good
They were
time.
having fun, yeah.
You know, the girl that they tortured is a good-looking lady. We get to see her
Oh
quite a bit.
yeah.
All that stuff
And it's
is
funny
great.
how what happened?
I was saying all that stuff is great. All that stuff works for
Yeah.
me.
And I like how later on she's topless for a good amount of time, and then they put a T-shirt on her, and you still see the bottom of a boob with a
I
nipple
know.
showing. And it's like, if I remember correctly, he goes, oh, just in case kids are watching, we put a shirt on her, but like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
still see the bottom of her boob, and I'm like, oh, you crazy guys, you know, you know. And I forgot to say this, and I don't wanna finish this video review without saying this. But in the first one, there's this great kill in the butcher deli shop, and the cameraman, the fat guy, he's coming in, Howard, right?
Yeah.
He's coming in and he goes, "Did I miss the fun?" And then the butcher says, "Don't worry, the fun has just begun." And that made me feel good. You know, like yeah. And when he slices the arm in the meat slicer where you get slices of like ham or cheese for your sandwich, he goes, "Give me a half pound of arm." And I thought the jokes, oh man, I love that movie and I love this movie, and I could easily see myself rewatching this, you know, during the Halloween season, you know.
Yeah. We're divided here on video violence too, and I think the audience will be too. I think if you're going in expecting a movie, you'll be a little let down, a little bored. But if you like stuff like WNUF, you'll really dig violence too. Let's give it a star rating. You go first.
I'm gonna go with 5.
Wow.
5 stars. Yes.
Wow.
I had such a great time with, and I was on the fence between giving it 4 or 5, but I felt so good and so happy. And I've always told Master Chaos, the thing is, whatever movie I'm watching, I give my ratings depending on whether I was entertained or not. And the level of entertainment that I got watching part 2, I'm a crazy old guy, it deserved 5 stars. So that's just my opinion. I mean, yeah.
5 stars. Okay. Well, there you go. I'm gonna go 3 stars. I think it was just okay. I mean, it has a lot of the fun of the first one, but it lacks a lot of the connective tissue. You know, there's no stakes. You know, we don't really care if anybody dies. It just feels like we're watching a clip show, like Terror in the Aisles or something like that, where it's just like, whatever. Put on a party. You know, you don't really even have to pay attention to it. You know, oh, boob showed up. Let's watch it now. You know, and I feel like, I don't know. I feel like they could have expanded the world. Maybe an FBI agent investigating the missing people or something. There could have been more to it. I just feel like they threw away their franchise to the point that he didn't make a Video Violence 3. So I can't imagine the second one did as well for him as the first one. Personally.
I understand definitely where you're coming from. I don't know what else to say, but I guess there are movies that are for different flavors for different customers, and I love the flavor of the second one so damn much.
Well, I'm glad. The flavor.
Yeah, like ice cream flavors, you know.
Yeah, no, I get it. And make sure to get your rental card for the video store.
Oh yes, definitely. I'm a lifer, like I said.
You know what they should have included in this? They should have included a video store card.
Oh, that would have been so nice, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah. Like, I mean, they're making you pay enough. Like, look, like I mean, we didn't need the super heavy case for it. Just the slipcase is enough. But whatever. Yeah. Paying an arm and a leg for this thing. But I would suggest, and you probably agree with me, that people should wait for a sale and don't pay full price for this.
Yeah, wait for a sale. Yeah, I'm definitely glad I got it. It's after watching so many goddamn awful SOV films, man. This is a breath of fresh air, you know.
Oh yeah.
And I guess most of the people are gonna like the first one because it is more of a traditional movie.
Mm-hmm.
and it is a detective story trying to figure out what's going on, and it's more well put together. The second one, I would say, in my opinion, is just as fun. Uh, I enjoyed it more myself. Um, it's worth a blind buy. In my opinion.
I wouldn't say it's worth a blind buy, especially if people aren't into SOV, because it is basically, I mean, it's a hardcore SOV here. So if you don't like that aesthetic, it's not a movie you should blind buy. I don't know if there's a way to watch it. There's no TVYB on this, but
Oh, I think I heard that the first one is on YouTube.
is it really?
Tracker Chaos told me that the first one is on YouTube.
Oh, okay. There you go. Well, he would know. He tracks it down for us.
Yeah, he's good at that.
Okay, well there you go. Then TVYB on YouTube. If it's there, I'll put it in the link so you guys can go check it out if you don't know it, just to get
That's
a taste
fantastic.
Because
Let me ask you a question.
I don't want people to waste their money on stuff that they're not going to be happy with.
Well, I guess what I meant was that if you're familiar with shot on video movies and you like most of them, then this would be a no nonsense. But if you like a shot on video movies, you definitely have seen this before, so you probably already have a DVD of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was happy to double dip. I have the DVD of it, but I was happy to double dip. Yeah.
Some people even like quadruple dip from like VHS releases and things like that. For this one, yeah. Well, there you go. This will be the ultimate version of video violence. There's no way that's getting a 4K because you can't do that with SOV.
No, it's not.
So BC, to wrap it up, is there any other missing SOV that you'd like to see get the star treatment?
Yeah, I was thinking Cannibal Campout would be a perfect contender for the Blu-ray treatment. I don't know if that's ever gonna happen, but I like Cannibal Campout more than the video violence films because it's sick, it's twisted, it's raunchy, it's sleazy, it's dark, it's grotesque, and it's even what's the word? It may insult many good taste, but I love it. It's a raunchy, right? It's a raunchy, crazy film.
Oh yeah, no, it's a messed up movie, but the fun kind. And I'll tell you what, while I think Video Violence is a better made movie, I would give Cannibal Campout 5 stars because it delivers the goods.
But I think also a little bit you're biased because that's part of our teenage years.
Oh sure, know? Yeah.
I remember every Halloween party. I think we for like the first 4 years we watched Cannibal Campout during our F outs.
Yeah.
Our parties, we would watch it. And I remember a friend of ours would say, "Oh man, you're watching that again?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's so much fun." And I've seen Cannibal Campout more times than I can count. But that if someone is hearing, or if it was possible with this film, they could do it with Cannibal Campout.
Well, hopefully TerraVision will make a deal because if they got this through Camp Motion Pictures, then hopefully they'll get other titles. Maybe another double feature. Cannibal Campout and Wood Chipper Massacre or something. I don't know. Oh,
Wood Chipper Massacre is a lot of fun too. I enjoyed that movie.
I don't think I've actually seen that one yet.
I've seen it. It's not as gory as the title suggests, but I'm not sure if you'd like it because it's different. It's more of a comedy, a black comedy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think it's out of print right now, but I don't even own it. I saw it later in the game. I didn't see it when I was in my younger teenage years. I've heard of it, but I couldn't find a copy of it. But when I saw it, I liked it. I was surprised because it doesn't have as much blood as the other shot-on-video Camp Motion Picture film. But it's really fun. It's really fun.
We'll see what happens. All right, let's wrap it up. Thank you at home for watching. Really appreciate you sharing your time with us and hearing us spout out about violent shot-on-video movies. All right, pal. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you being here, man.
Thank you, man. I'm glad to be here anytime I can.
And you at home, make sure to drop a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the content. Even if you haven't, drop a thumbs up because it gives you good karma. You can have a great day for the rest of your days. Not just today, the rest of your days are going to be great if you give us a thumbs up, because that helps support the channel. Consider joining Patreon for exclusive content. But for now, we bid you adieu.